I'll share my screen. Right. So, hi everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar today. My name is Himanshi Yaduvanshi. I'm a process and quality analyst at protocols.io based in Pune, India. So today in this webinar, I will be talking about the advanced features and functionalities of the protocols.io. And for those who are new to the protocols.io, please note that we will skip some basic overview covered in the introductory webinar, which is a different webinar. And however, you can attend the upcoming sessions or view the existing introductory sessions available on our website. So let's get started. So some housekeeping before we start. We will be recording the webinar today and you will receive a link to the recordings and these slides. We can also enable captioning and turn on the translations, which I will go over in the next slide. And Q&A will be at the end. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to add them in the chat box. Also, we have a survey in the end, like where you can give your feedback and suggest the topics for the future webinars, which will be really helpful to design the webinars, which will be useful for our users. And I also encourage you to check the other webinars at the protocols.io/webinars. And specifically, if you are new to the webinar, I will suggest you to start with the introductory webinar. And if you have any specific question, even after attending the webinars, you can also request a one-on-one demo at protocols.io/help/demo, where either me or one of my colleagues from our team can help you out to resolve your queries. So as I mentioned, to enable the captions, please click Show Captions at the bottom of your screen, and upon click, you will be prompted to select your caption language and captions will be auto-translated. So the agenda for today is I'll be briefly giving the introduction about the protocols.io. Sorry. And I'll also talk about the different terminologies we have on our platform, like fork, versions, copy. I'll be explaining them. And I will be doing a live demo covering advanced editing, run functionality, task and manager, region manager. And we'll be talking about the collection, how to create and publish them. And again, there'll be a quick Q&A at the end to answer the questions you may have. So to start with, so there are two sides of the protocols.io. First, it is an open access method sharing repository that has free to read and free to publish protocols and over 25,000 protocols at the moment. All of these protocols are published with the CC BY license, which means that they can be distributed and built upon as long as you are giving the credit to the original authors. And we also have a private collaboration tool with over 87,000 protocols, which allow users to securely create, share, and optimize protocols within their team or organization. You can later transfer these protocols to open access repository as well. So these two sites feed into each other. And you can easily transition through different stages of your research with protocols.io. From the open access, you can search and find your protocol, and then you can, in the private protocol, you can optimize and organize them. And again, you can share in the public domain. So it's a cycle which is balancing each other. So our goal is to make easy to share method details before, during, and after the publication. So there is an idea of modular publishing where you publish discrete research output and bring them all together into a manuscript. So here there is one example of from Nature Communication paper. You can see that in this data, we can There are three research output, like one is the expression construct, which they have submitted to the AdGene, and there is also a MSMS analysis method, which have been deposited to the protocols.io, and there is also a protein data bank, which they have like for the molecular structures. So, so yes. So, and the people, so through this way, like people responsible for these individual outputs are able to get the appropriate credit. So now I'll talk about, like as I previously mentioned, there are certain terminologies that we use on protocols.io and like versions, fork, and copying. So version is like it's linked to the previous version. Like you make a protocol and you can make a different version of that protocol, and who can create that version? Anyone. But the owner of the original protocol can publish only. When to use the, like how to, when to make a version, like when you want to rectify an error in the step, because once you publish one protocol, you cannot make the edits in that, so you have to publish a new version to rectify any error which occurred during the publication. So another is like provide extra information about the optimization of a specific part of the process. Like throughout the time you evolve, your protocols evolve, so you can make the new versions of those protocols. So like there is an example, version 1 on 2018 and the version 2 in 2019, and then again the version 3. So you can, this way you can, your protocol can evolve on the platform. So there is another term which is fork. Like it is linked to the original protocol. Who can create it? Anyone. Anyone can use the any protocol and fork that. Like they can use that protocol as a template and make their own changes according to their requirement. And who can publish? Anyone. So there are modification for the different sample types. So let's say one person has published a certain staining in one species, and you do use that particular staining but in different specimen or different type of sample, so you can fork that out so that the main content of the protocol will be remaining same, just a little bit editing would be required, so you don't have to make that protocol from the scratch. You can just make fork it, make the little make little edits, and then you can publish it. So there is a copy where it is not linked to anything. It is not linked to the earlier owners, nothing like that, because you're just copying it. So you can use this also as a template when you have multiple protocols with the same abstract authors affiliation. Let's say within the organization, the list of author, organization, and everything remains same. Just there are little changes in the steps. So you can also copy your previous published protocols and you can make the changes and publish. So I'll just give an analogy. Let's say you are cooking a chocolate cake and you want to add more sugar, because in the earlier version it was, people like said that it is not that sweet, so you want to add more sugar. So you will be making a version where you can edit the amount of sugar you need to add. And let's say you want to make a vanilla cake instead of chocolate cake, like a different thing, but the same recipe you can use. So you'll be forking that protocol, and then again you want to just make a different, let's say chicken, but in the same kitchens with the same amount of people are making it. So you can also copy that. So there you can change the steps, but the authors and other things will remain same. So let's get started with, to get started with the protocols.io, there are different ways. First, you can fork or copy the existing protocol and use them as a template to build your own protocol. You can also use our protocol entry service where we will import and transfer the authorship to you. And you can also start from the scratch or with the help of GenAI, which is trained on our specific like GenAI model, which is trained on our Springer Nature scientific material. So you can use that also to generate a protocol from a scratch. And if you have already a Word document or PDF of you have already made your protocol, you just want to transfer that to on our platform and you don't want to write it again. So we do have an AI important importer which is called Protocolify. There you can just put your PDF or Word file or image file. It will extract all the information and transfer them to the steps. So that is also a very useful option we have to save your time. So as I state earlier, like it's a demo protocol, we'll be talking about the features and I'll assume there is certain knowledge is already there. Even if it is not there, I'll try my best to tell the small thing which is required to build to understand the topic I'm like discussing. So we'll be talking these advanced topics. So let me go back to the demo. Let me give me a minute. Yeah, give me a minute. I'm just figuring out where is, yeah, no, not this. And, yeah. 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 Hope you can see my screen now. So that's how, one second, let me just put this here. Yeah, so that's how a workspace looks like. And this is my workspace where you can see the different uh, colors are there. So blue is for the published protocol. I have already published one protocol. Green is like I have completed the run record, and the yellow is for the private protocol, which is currently in development. So if so here at the bottom, you can see a raccoon logo. If you click on that, you can see that it tells different ways to create protocols using GenAI, by forking and copying using protocol.py, and you can click on that whichever way you want to explore. And there is also, we have given the help center button, which it can click and find the different articles of interest. And we have webinars, tutorials, and other documents and FAQs. So you can explore this session to understand more about the basics if you are looking for. So in the webinar, you'll be able to find the introductory webinar. So yes. Apart from this, like let's discuss about the sharing functionality. Yes. So let me just, yeah. So when you click on a protocol, there is a share functionality will appear. Let's say in a workspace, there'll be different member in your organization. So who you want to give the access to the that particular protocol. Here you can decide that. So the general access is obviously me because I have created this protocol and I'm the owner of this protocol. So it's my workspace. I have given the full permission to myself to edit and publish. And you will be like linked to one of the organization when you'll be making a profile. And you, if to add the access to other people, you can click their either username or the web email address, like so once you add any name, there will be people who with a similar name will add. So for that you can use this functionality, and you can provide them, you can click on that and provide them the access. At the moment I don't want to give access to them, to my personal uh, protocol. And here you can choose the workspace as well. So let's say you want to give the permission to the entire organization to view your protocol. You have a collaborator in different country where you both want to share the protocols. You can, there will be a name of their workspace. Let's say I have a workspace named called webinar, so I can click on that and can give the permission according to my will. They can edit, view, or preview. So yeah, sorry. So you can share like this and they will be having the access. So you can choose the people or the organization and save. So there is one more thing to, you can, if you don't want to share your workspace, you can always share the link. So here you will get the private link, which you can share. People will be able to view that protocol on your name, where all the information related to you and your organization will be available. And if you want to use the blind, it's a double blind link review link where you will, where on sharing, you will not see your name or the organization. So it will be useful in the in case of blind review, just the protocol, the steps will be there and no other additional information will be there on using this link. So we'll go back and I'm audible. Yes. And right. So we were here. So yeah, here you can just save whatever you have done, and that's the about the share functionality. And after this, we will go delve more onto the functionalities and the features of the protocols.io. Let's say I'll open this private protocol, and yes, yes. So here, like when you will, let's say if you are making a new protocol, you can make like this and you can either import or you can choose the workspace where you want to make it. So let's say in the Himanshi's workspace, I will continue. So that's how a new protocol, when you create, it looks like this. So here you can start new step or new section. So here you can add. So like in this, I've already started. I've added the functionalities of protocols.io to add the step. You can add here in the plus. So wherever you will click, the step will be added to the next row. So if you want to add a, let's say, if you want to talk about some reagent, let's say buffer, and now you want to add some, let's say, the sub steps under where you can mention the components of this buffer. So you can delete this, yeah, which the extra step we have added. So here you can add, you can click here and create the sub steps. So 1.1. So these are the sub steps where you can mention the composition and other details, whichever you want to add. Here you can add in that. So there is a section, the steps and the sub steps, which is very useful in making the clear to enhance the clarity of the protocol you are making. So if you want to add the new section after this, you can just click here. We have this where you can expand it and click on the insert section. So the new section will be added after the where you will click. So you have to see where you want to add. Where you want to add, you have to just click there and add the steps, sections, or sub steps. Or let's say you don't want this sub step, so you can also convert that into a step. So if you click here, you have to click here and convert to a step. Yeah, so now this is converted into a step. So you can also, so here also we have given certain things where you can mention, which you can explore, like how to add. So from here we can add the critical steps. Like there are different functionalities which showcase what is the step is has. It could be the temperature, the centrifugation took place, they have done the imaging, or there is a overnight steps or the pipetting. So anything you can just mention, or it's just a washing step. So you can up to 3 you can mention the critical steps. Let's say it's toxic, it's overnight step, and it's yeah. So you can see here these icons have added. And if you click here, you can also add these uh, marks icons from here. So to 3 you can add, you can see I cannot add more than 3. Okay. Yes, so this is about the steps, sub-steps, and sections. So here we have, and from here you can delete, or like, let's say you want to select multiple, you have already selected, you can uncheck them. And so multiple options we have. Like you can uncheck all the steps, which like you don't want to do anything with them. So we have different components to make the protocol dynamic, which works really well when you run the protocol. So here we have amount. Let's say I'll just add one more step here. So let's say I want to add amount which has a value, let's say 2 microliter, or there are different units I have added which I was using. And if the unit is not here, you can always add your unit, let's say unit, which is already there. Like anything else you can add nm, right? So you just click on add and it will be added to you, and you can close. And then if you again click on the amount 2 and the new unit you wanted to add, it will be in the almost at the end. So you can, that's how you can add the more function amounts to the protocol. And if we talk about the concentration, let's say you want to add 2 mg per ml. So there are different concentration molarities there, 2 millimolar, the different sort of concentrations have been given here. And again, if it is not present which you want to use, so you can add your new unit of which you want to add, and then just click on add and it will be added to the list and you can mention there. So there is another functionality is, again, if there is a temperature, again the 37 degree you can add, and you can provide the additional info if you want. So if it's a room temperature, you can just click on room temperature. Room temperature will be added to that step. Similarly, we have a pH. For pH, you can add the value. So it will be mentioning, can view as a pH 10 is here, like that. You can mention any value you want. Sorry. And there is also a time component, which is very useful and required when you run the protocol. So here, like duration is there, where you can mention just 1 minute and it'll be added. And again, if you want to add 1 hour, 1h, and then enter, you can add the 1 hour. And if you want to add the overnight step, you can add that as well. And if you have a range to add, let's say sometimes we say like for 2 3 minutes, like let's say you want to add 3 minutes, but you also want to give some range here, so you can add 1 to 3 minutes. So extra information you can add here, like you're mentioning 3 minutes, but it could be between 1 to 3 minutes. So that's how you can edit that as well. Right, so that this is a very useful and for the run functionality. And the another is the, yeah, let's say if you're working on a sample, so you can just provide the name of the sample. Let's say it's a tissue, sorry, and it's a spleen, right? So you can add it to sample, where when you click, you can see the name tissue. Yeah, right? So it is like, you can view it as a tissue, and if you want to see which tissue, it's a spleen tissue. Okay, so you can give the another like the details about which are hidden, which is not really required to be seen all the time, but you can always mention here. So there is another thing is centrifugation step, where like another step I'll be adding. Yeah. So here it's a centrifugation. Yeah, sorry, yeah, here, right? Where you can mention in the RPM, let's say 1000 RPM at 4 degree for 5 minutes, and additional information, anything you can add here. So you can add this centrifugation like this, which will be really helpful in the run functionality. In short, you can give all the information about the centrifugation you have performed. So yeah, so there are multiple components which you can also categorize on the basis of your usage. If you are a biology person, computational person, chemistry person, you can just click on that. And you can always can add to the favorites. So when you add here, so your favorite icons will be here all the time. So you can use, if you just want to use two functionalities which is required for your workflow, you can use them. So after this, I'll show how to add a video or upload an image. So there are certain icons on the top where you can add an image or video. Let's see. Mhm. So anything you can, any image you can add here. Do I have anything here? Let's say this. So you can add that image here. Sorry. So that's how you can add an image or a video. So let's say if you have a small video, you can directly click here. And if you want to, let's say, add your YouTube video, let's say, yeah. There is a Western plotting thing. Right, let's say you want to add this video to your protocol because it has a very similarities. So here you can go on share, click on, not, you don't have to copy this link, but you have to click the embedded and you have to copy entire thing. And then you have to, so this is the image which I have imported. So yeah, so here is embed media. You can click copy here and save. So that's how you can transfer your YouTube video from YouTube to here. You can embed here. So the longer videos you can embed here, and you can directly add from the images and videos available on your laptop. So there is another functionality where you can add the table. So here we have a table. So you can add different number of tables. You can edit. You can add here like the serial number, the components. Mm-hmm. Once again, yeah. the volume, say total. Right, so it's one, it's already given. You don't have to add here again, and you can also add it here. We have, if you click right here, there is, you can rename this, so you can provide the column name here as well. And there are different options available, like you can delete the session, the column, or rename this column. And there is a volume, let's say it's a 4, and then volume is 20 microliter. You have 4 components to it. So like we do in the Excel, you can do it directly here, like where you are mentioning B2 into C2, right? And click enter, so you can see it has multiplied this. So you can do it with the, like, so you don't have to separately open the Excel. You can do your calculation here as well. And another thing is there. So in one of the component, we have a well plate map, where you can choose the well plate of your which you have used during your protocol, or you can add the 2 or like 5, let's say, and create. So you can do it that as well. And then you can provide the color coding to this, and you can label them. So multiple things you can add here. And yeah, there is a size setting. You can again change if you're not liking it, so you can always modify it. Or if you have a table already from one of the, like you got as an output from one of the instrument, you can always import as an Excel file of that. And it will be, I don't have right now, but yeah, you can import, and it will be visible like this. And you can provide the different color coding here, like to your samples, and label them as well. Yeah, so another thing is, we have something called smart components, where you, one second, yeah. So where we have the smart components, where you can add rows, and you can mention if it is required while, yeah, you have to mention, let's say 1, 2, 3. You mention something, and then you can add them as a component. So it is really, so when you run this protocol, the value is need to be written here, then only it will go out. So this value is of one of any component. Let's say you want to mention what you have added during the run. Even if, let's say, you wanted to always people mention what component they're adding and how much, if that is different, so you can mention those values here. And if you have a citation, if you want to add your own citation or anyone else citation, we have a component for that as well. So here you can add citation. Let's say I'll just mention my name. Yeah, so these are my publications. So I can add my own citation or someone else citation here using this component. And again, the different step. So you can add a protocol as well from protocols.io, let's say. Searching. So I did add Sting. Yeah. So this is the protocol which I have already published. So I can add this protocol here, or other protocol if I want to mention. Let's say there are multiple steps which you do not want in particular protocol to be repeated because you have already published that protocol. So you can add that protocol, and then they can review it while doing it. And during run, it will be mentioned here that do you want to follow the steps? You can follow the step or skip it according to your use. So there is another thing called safety instruction. Let's say you're working with some dangerous or toxic material. You can add the safety information. Please be careful. Like this, you can always add, or you want to provide a note. You can add a note here as well. Do it twice. So that's how you can add the note and the safety informations. And yeah. So there is an option where let's say you have sacrificed a mice and you have collected the different organs and you want to proceed for the facts analysis and you want to do the different steps for the different organs. So here you can branch your protocol at this step where you can use the step case, where you can mention, okay, let's say for the spleen, you can mention like how many cells were there and if you have a photos also, you can upload here their images and add a step case, right? Yes. And I'll just remove this and remove this so I can see, I can add more, let's say heart and any detail about it. So I can add the step case here. So that's how. And if I click on here and add a spleen, so let's say spleen only, spleen only. And if I click here, you can see that step is gone. So for heart, it's like only do wash twice. Right? For heart tissue, you wash twice. So you can see that. So for different, we are getting the different protocols, steps or instructions for different uh, step case. So that's how you can use this step case functionality, and you can add multiple according to your usage, and you can edit them. Let's say I clicked here. I want to edit because I have added heart. Okay, this is a showcase title. So let's say heart. So you can edit that as well. And yes. So now if I want to view this, so here I can view this, how it looks before I go for the publication. So here is what we have added, all the functionalities I can see here is there. And one second, yeah. On the top, again, if you want to make some changes, you can do that. Like we have other things here, let's say for the description, you can add a protocol image. Let's say you have a stepwise protocol image, you can add here, you can add abstract here, you can add author's details here, the keywords, any external link you want to add, and the manuscript to cite related to this protocol, you can mention here, image attribution, disclaimer, and any attachment you want to add, any file, Word file, PDF, you can add here. Here we have a guidelines and warnings where you can add the basic guidelines or the introduction about the protocol, and before you start you can add here, and there is a warning, anything if you want to give. And if you're working with mice or human sample, you can add the ethical statements, any safeties, and you want to give the safety warning because this is a sensitive content, you can hear, or if it is confidential, you can hear like for view only, but yeah. And here you can mention your references. Here you can add your materials. So if you add any reagent, let's say here we have a component name reagent. Yeah. So here we have a reagent. So either let's say I'm using PBS, which is very common in research, right? For everyone uses. So, but the company is not what I use. There is PBS, but not something which I use from Zippo or something like that. It's yeah, so it's here. I can either add from here, or if something is not here, I can create own. Let's say I want to add a die, which is Tapi, and I can elect the vendor. It's Zipco or Thermo from anywhere. And if you have made by yourself, you can just add contributed by the user or homemade. So because it is very important to add something here, so you can use contributed by the users and create them. So here it will be, or when you click on that, there all the information about the catalog will be there. And yeah, anything you can add as of now. And yeah, so whenever you will click, yeah, it needs something. The information will be displayed here associated with that particular reagent. Okay. So I think I've covered almost all the things. Like you can also add some databases if you have uh, these data sets you want to link. So you can search the database protein related to any protein. Sorry, yeah, no. So any something, right? Yeah, let's say if any database is already here, you can add there. And yeah, you can add the command for the and geo coordinates. You can add shaker information you can add. So there are multiple things you can add here, right? The software, if you want to add, let's say image J, which is Fiji, yeah. So it will be added here. And if you want to add any equipments, let's say confocal, matching, yeah, let's say here, this one you want to add, you can add, and you can always remove if something is not going well, and you can create your own equipment related to the brand name, vendor, and every information you want to add, you can add, make your own. You don't always have to use which is provided. So after this, like we can view this and yeah, it will be shown, okay, it's a sensitive content, but let me view. And then you can, here is a copy and a fork. Let's say if you want to make a copy of this template and want to develop new protocol, you can do that. And there is a run functionality, which you can start run. Right? So here we can see that it's 10 hour 49 minutes because we have added certain times here. So whenever you will reach here, it will be, let's say each step you have to mention it's done to make it count. And you can start this, pause it if you're not doing something else, refresh it, and then again you can start it. So that's how you can use these components when you are working with them, when you are running your protocol. And you can see when I am completing certain steps, I can see that when it is done by whom. So all these details you can see here. So let's say if I here it's finish run, right? So if you want to finish this, yes, it is finished. And you can go back to your file manager. And after this, I would like to talk about the task manager because we have 20 minutes left. Let's say, yeah. So if you click on your, like you can expand this. So you in one workspace, you can have a multiple. So in one profile, you can have a multiple workspaces, and in that you will have a manage reagents here where you'll be having certain reagents already, which you have used earlier, or you can add any reagent, let's say 1x TBS you want to add. It will be here, you can add here, and you can add which lot you have used and its order or not, what is the expiration date, the location where it is kept, everything, every detail. So it's like anyone in your present can find that and do use that, right? Or you can add your new reagents if that is not available publicly. Back. So if you click on that, you can always use who else used that reagent. So for this, let's say this particular by gen sensor, it's nobody has used. So it's there, only one person has used this. So you can see if the particular reagent you are using from particular company, how many people have used it and what is their, if it is working for them, you can edit your details or you can delete the reagent from the workspace altogether. So everything about the reagent you can manage here in the reagent manager. And sorry, yeah, this thing. So we have also, if you want to give a task, there is a task manager where as a PI or a scientist, you want to provide, there is a one particular protocol where the different people will be working on it. So you can create a task. You can, yes, sorry. Sorry, it's a bit slow, I think. Yeah. So you can create a title, let's say Philippine Steel, right? And you can add the description, and so you can search about that particular protocol as well, or from your workspace or anywhere you want to do that. So let's say this has a 9 steps. So let's say I want to assign it to, so it's in progress. And the start date, let's say it's 28, I would like to add. And the duration, let's say for 2 days, I want to give to a person to complete. And I can add the due date. Let's say this. And you can add any colors and list of assignee. Let's say I have a, so let's say it's me, I want to assign it to myself, or there'll be the people from your workspace. In my space only, I'm here, so I can add myself to do this, let's say, yeah, these steps. And once again, and I can save it. So this way you can save it. Yeah, it's in progress. So yes, here I can see that, yeah, if I'll go back, in calendar also I can see that. So it's something is open, something is in progress, which we have clicked now. I can see the details, what person is doing what, and when they will be finishing that. And in the calendar also, I can see that. So you can see this on, it's due on this date and it's already in progress. So you can make all this settings for your, to manage your task if you're working with multiple people, and you can see what are the open, in progress, and closed in your calendar as well. So this is about the task manager. And yeah, I think I am done with all the topics. Yeah, one thing I'm left with is, let's say, yeah. So here we have a certain collection. Let's say you have a workflow which is in which multiple protocols are coming. So you can make a collection of that, like here, right? So let's say in this, I have already made a folder where I have made 3 protocols with 1, 2, 3, and I want to, let's say, make a collection of these 3, or let's say these 2 protocols. I can make a new collection. Yeah, and I want to save that in there. Yes, so I can see these 2 protocols are coming in one particular collection. Whenever I want to run just protocol 1 and 2, right? Yes, and I can view it. So it has 2 protocols, and I can click on one each and see how and do and make them run, right? Once it will complete the second one, it will ask, do you want to run that as well? And I can publish this here. Or I can just reserve the DOI or can post as a draft. And there are multiple peer reviews optional if I want to go for the peer review of my particular protocol or a collection. So this is a common functionality for the collection and the protocols. So yeah. Let's I'll go back. So that's how you can make your collection. You can have multiple protocols and you can just click, let's say, sorry. Yeah. And then you can just add, or you can move this protocol from one to another workspace as well. Let's say if I want to move it to I don't want to keep it in collection, but in the practice workspace, I can move that. So it's gone in the practice workspace. So that's how there are different functionalities are there, and related to one protocol also we have, you can rename and everything is here. You can explore that. So I think I'll just stop here. And if you have any questions, you can ask. We have 10 minutes for that. Yeah, but let me just go back. So I have few things in my, yeah, so let me just complete my presentation quickly. I'll again share this, my screen. Yeah. So yes, hope you can see that. So, like I've already told, we have a help center where we can have a different options, where you can have webinars, tutorials, you can have a one-on-one demo, and yeah, dedicated upcoming webinar. All the details will be visible there, and you can always drop us an email if you want to arrange that. And we have now Q&A, and there is a webinar survey. You can scan it, or I'll just um, yeah, you can scan it and provide us the feedback. And now I'll stop recording so that we can have uh, time for Q&A.